Ever wonder why your parents seem perfectly fine trading 40 years of their lives for a gold watch and a pat on the back? It's almost like they got a different instruction manual for life than we did. Picture this. You're sitting at the dinner table and your dad mentions he hasn't taken a vacation in 5 years. He says it with pride, not regret, not exhaustion, pride. You're looking at him thinking, is this a flex? Meanwhile, you've already mentally calculated how many vacation days you'll have accrued by March. Here's the thing about the generation before us. They didn't just accept the grind, they worshiped it. Complaining about work? That was for quitters. Ambition beyond a steady paycheck? That was for dreamers who'd end up broke. Their entire philosophy boiled down to one simple formula. Work until you're too old to work, then finally start living. If that sounds backwards to you, congratulations, you're paying attention. Now, imagine you're them for a second. You grew up in a world where just having a job was considered winning. Security wasn't a stepping stone, it was the entire destination. The economy was different, sure, but so was the programming. Their parents lived through actual hardship, depressions, wars, rationing. So when things stabilized, the goal became simple. Don't rock the boat. Ambition got redefined somewhere along the way. It wasn't about building wealth or freedom anymore. It was about not losing what little you had. Fast forward to now, and you're watching them live out this script they followed perfectly. They clock in, they clock out, they wait. And somehow, they're content with it. You see your mom shuffling through another decade at a job she doesn't love, and she'll tell you it's fine. It pays the bills, she says, like that's supposed to be the end goal of human existence. Meanwhile, you're over here thinking, what's the point of finally being free to do what you want when you're 70 and your knees don't work? It's like saving dessert until you've lost your sense of taste. But here's where it gets interesting. They genuinely believe they're doing it right. This isn't some tragic delusion. They actually think grinding for decades and postponing joy is the responsible path. And when you tell them you want financial freedom in your 30s, not your 70s, they look at you like you just said you want to become a professional dragon trainer. It's not computing. The script they were handed said, suffer now, maybe enjoy later. Your script says, build a life worth living now, not when you're too tired to live it. So are you wrong for wanting more? For rejecting the idea that life's grand reward should come when you can barely enjoy it? Let's think about that for a second. Their generation survived, absolutely. They kept roofs over heads, they did what they thought was necessary. Nobody's taking that away from them. But survival and actual living are two different games. One is about making it through. The other is about making it count. You're not wrong for looking at their path and deciding it's not for you. You're not ungrateful for wanting freedom before your retirement party. You're just playing a different game with different rules. Here's the kicker though. They don't see it as sacrifice. To them, this is just what you do. You work, you endure, you retire, you rest. It's the circle of life, corporate edition. The irony is almost poetic. They spent their whole lives building toward a finish line, and by the time they cross it, they're too exhausted to celebrate. That's not winning, that's just running out the clock. But the system they bought into, it's still selling the same story. Work hard, stay loyal, and someday you'll get your reward. Just ignore the fact that someday keeps getting pushed back. You're witnessing this firsthand, and instead of nodding along, you're asking the uncomfortable question, what if there's a better way? What if financial freedom at 35 beats a retirement party at 65? The real conflict isn't between you and your parents. It's between two completely different philosophies about what life is supposed to be. They optimized for security. You're optimizing for freedom. And here's what nobody wants to admit. Both come with trade-offs. Their path offered stability, but demanded decades of deferred dreams. Your path offers possibility, but requires risk and reinvention. The difference is, you're choosing your trade-offs consciously. They never really question theirs. That's not a moral judgment, that's just what different eras demanded. So no, you're not wrong. You're just awake to a different reality. One where waiting until you're old to start living feels less like wisdom and more like the longest delay of gratification in human history. The real question isn't whether you're wrong, it's whether you'll actually do something different. Because recognizing the pattern is one thing. Breaking it, that's where things get interesting.